So I've been requested a few times to go over my Atari ST collection, and honestly it's kind of one that I've wanted to do simply because you don't see a lot of them out there. I mean, who wants to see the same old NES and Super Nintendo collections, right? So let's take a look at my current collection for one of the consoles that I grew up on. Alright, console, I mean computer. You know what I mean. Now this little green desktop right here, first off, brings me back completely. Just, there's something about that green desktop. And like, why did they choose green? Of all the colors, why green? I don't know. Speaking of green, there is going to be no gameplay footage in this video. I just can't capture anything off the ST itself. Half the games don't, about 80-90% of the games don't work. What I'd usually do to capture stuff like this is screen capture. I would pull up an emulator and just capture my screen. Well, the emulator I use for ST is called the Green Desktop, or the little green desktop. I don't remember, I'm not sitting in front of it, but it's I can't get it to work, and so I'm just gonna put like screenshots of the game. So I apologize for that. So let's get started now that that's out of the way. First game up I have is Indianapolis 500. I know nothing about this game, never played it in a day. And I haven't played it currently because I can't get the disc to work. And you're gonna see that as a theme. There's a lot of disc rot going on with some of these old floppy disks. And I don't know if it's just luck of the draw because I have other people tell me that theirs work, but nothing and I know it's not the disc because I have 3 different systems that I can test it on. And well, 3 different systems plus a separate disc drive. And I can't get any of them to work on a lot of these games, but some of them will. So there you go. But I would like to thank Tony from Australia. He has a channel, I'm going to put the link down below, but he hooked me up and got me some of the games that I grew up with, basically, that I was wanting to play and just couldn't find them on eBay. And even if I did find them on eBay, like Bubble Bobble, I bought this new and I loved this game back in the day. Loved it. I played it on Atari ST before I did on NES. In fact, I don't think I ever played it on NES. But me and my friend Frankie would play this constantly. It was amazing. I bought this brand new off of eBay, and the disc will not work. It's just disc rot or whatever. It opens up in the thing, but once you hit the program, it says error. So it just will not work. So I run into a lot of that. And so he was able to, he's a big Atari ST guy. He knows the system in and out. And he's able to take the ROMs and put them on brand new discs. And so theoretically they should work because there's no disc rot. There's been no data written on them. They're old discs, but the data's new. Thank you, Tony, for that. So let's go over the rest of my collection, which is basically just eye candy at this point. And I'll go over what I think I'm going to try to do to fix that. But for right now, let's kind of go over what I have. Warlock, which I got this on an episode, actually. We went to Freaks and Geeks. Haven't played it. It's factory sealed, and I just don't want to take the chance to open it up and have it not work like Bubble Bobble. I'll just keep it preserved. Same thing with Double Dragon. But I don't have any nostalgia for these. I never had Double Dragon on Atari ST. I only played it on NES, but still cool to have because I like the game. Now this one I played a hell of a lot. Tons. Sports football. Growing up, my dad and I watched the Dallas Cowboys, and we were just, that was like one of our things that we bonded over, was watching football. And so we would watch the game, and then I'd go and pop this in and play it. And it was really cool because even though there was no official license of like the teams. At least I don't think they were. Yeah, there was. It was the official license of the team, but not the color. So it was either red or blue. That's who you were. So I guess if you were the Eagles, screw it, right? But you could rename all the players, and so I'd get the current roster and rename all the players and stuff. So yeah, it was a fun game. I liked it. It's not arcadey like like a Tecmo Bowl or something like that, but I really enjoyed it. I got this at a game store. Don't know what it is, but it is it looks pretty cool. It comes with a comic It's Leather Goddesses of Phobos. Sounds amazing. I had to pick it up. I think it was like $20, but 3D glasses, 3D comic book. You can't pass something up like that if you're an Atari ST fan. So I picked it up. I've looked at the comic with the 3D glasses. It doesn't work that well. We got Draken. Never played this one, but it looks like an RPG. So got that. This one I picked up kind of recently at Retropalooza. And these days, if there's anything Atari ST, I'm going to pick it up. It's Doctor Doom's Revenge, Spider-Man, and Captain America. I'm going to pick it up if it's Atari ST, as long as it's not too terribly expensive. We got Starglider. Now this is one of the ones I really, really, really liked. It has that vector graphics look to it, and you could tell that they were heavily inspired by the Star Wars arcade. Very, very, very close resemblance, like when you're going along the Death Star, and there's even towers and stuff, and it looks like walkers too. But I played the hell out of this one. Another one that I really liked was Gunship, and we had a lot of flight simulators in my household, a lot of them. The main one we used to play though was Falcon. This one, me and my dad would play constantly because my dad worked with military aircraft, so that environment was always in our house, where we'd go to Air Force bases, hang around the jets, come home. He would work on different things. So that was like our life, our bonding. It was aircraft, jets, and football. So he would come home from work and play this, and I'd be right there with him. And it also, you gotta keep in mind, this was in the height of the first Iraq War, so that was constantly on CNN. And so you could go into missions. I think it was this one that you could go into missions like in Iraq or whatever, and it was like, you were part of it or some stupid way. Yeah, whatever. But that was just one of the coolest things. You can go on all these different missions, and it just felt like you were, a fighter pilot. It was cool. And I remember one of the things that stick out in my mind with that one is actually, let me just pull it out, because a lot of if you're under like 30, you probably don't know what the heck this is, but to curb pirate software, they would have different little codes. Like this is one of them, but there'd be different little cheat sheets that would, when the game started, they would be like, okay, match this symbol with this symbol. So if you didn't have this, you couldn't play the game. So that kept people from just copying the software and taking it home, and they'd be screwed because they wouldn't be able to start the software without that code, that decoder. Rambo 3, and this one is another one that's factory sealed that I haven't opened because I'm pretty sure if I do, it's not going to work. I don't even want to bother at this point. But I loved Rambo. I loved the series, and at this time, Rambo 3 was the most current one. And so I'd watch the movie and I'd play the game. I did that a lot. Whenever I saw the movie, I wanted to play the game. This one, I liked a whole bunch, but frustrating as hell. Batman the Caped Crusader. Now this was out before the movie, so it's more based on like the comics and not the movie. Because once the movie came out, all the games were based around the movie, it seemed like. But this was before that, and they kind of tried to give it a comic book feel. So whenever you're playing it, little screens pop up that look like comic screens, or comic, I guess you'd call them panels, comic panels that pop up. And I believe you could, this one I've tried to play it, it don't work. So I'm going by memory here, but you could either try to go after like the Penguin or the Joker. So there was like two different games I guess you could play. The one thing that frustrated me so much though was like it was very cryptic to know where to go and what to do. So it was very hard in that aspect. And also, it was kind of like this. the one of the reasons I don't like Adventure Island on NES is like you have to constantly keep eating to keep from dying. I kind of went with that approach here. Your health, you start your face starts to melt off on the select screen unless you keep eating. So you got to get food to stop that from happening. It's so annoying. I hate that. I hate that to constantly have to keep checking that in order to just not die. You know, it just takes away from the game, in my opinion. But I do have a lot of nostalgia for it. This was one of the first games that my friend Frankie, who had an Atari, I had friends on one side of the street that had an NES with a bunch of games, and I had another friend on the other side of the street who had an Atari ST like me. So he would bring games over, and then I'd be playing them. I'd be like, "This is awesome," but then my friends would have an NES too, and I'd be like, "I want to play an NES too." So yeah, then once middle school happened and we got the Super Nintendo, I didn't have any friends anymore because I turned into a pretty big geek, I guess you could say. I still am. This one I would probably put one of my top favorite is Robocop. This was just a real lot of fun, but definitely a lot of hard too. On the first stage you have to fight Ed 209, and it took me forever before I was able to finally beat him and get to the second stage. It took forever and ever. Well, my friend Frankie too. We would sit there and try over and over and over again, but still loved it. Still a lot of nostalgia for that game. Now this is another game that I never knew existed back in the day, but then again the movie came out in '90, so by that time I was playing the NES. I wasn't playing the Atari ST anymore anyway. It was onto the NES. But this is Gremlins 2, and I know that if I had known it existed and still was playing the Atari ST, I would have definitely loved to have played this one. It's not like anything any of the other games that I played. It's not a port of like the NES version, so that's cool. It's its own game. The bad part about it is the thing is not working. Disc rot. So unfortunately, I have not been able to play it, which was extremely disappointing. Now, you know what, screw it. I'll pop it in one more time, try to see if I can get it to work. But I seriously doubt it, because I think the day that I was trying to get it to work, I seriously was messing with it for around 30 minutes, trying it on different discs, different systems, and all that. So we'll get that going. If that works, then I guess miracles can happen. Now, see, I don't know if you can see that, but it just shows that there's nothing on the disc, that it's blank. So unfortunately, I am not going to be able to play Gremlins 2 until I come up with a solution for that. Alright, so the last game that I have here is one that you guys saw, maybe, and that's the Munsters. And it doesn't work. Surprise, surprise, right? Which is really unfortunate, because the footage that I was able to capture when I was playing it. Let me see if I'm trying to get this open. When I was trying to get it open, when I was capturing it, it was pretty cool. It wasn't super great, but it was pretty cool. To me, I don't know. Whenever I'm playing something on the emulator on this computer, it just doesn't feel right. Especially since I have to use other methods as opposed to just using one of these and then playing it on the monitor. I mean, to me, I just don't get the same feel. It's something different when you're playing it on here that you don't get when I'm just emulating it, and that I'm trying to capture good footage anyway. But yes, that's my collection. There you go. Now, what I'm going to try to do, apparently there's these devices that you can put and emulate a disk drive. So you plug it into this, and you can put the ROMs on an SD card, and you can play it on the ST, on the monitor, but you're playing ROMs as opposed to the actual discs. So I'm going to have to try to do that and track one down. I have no place where I can get one, so I'm going to get one of those soon, and when I do, I'll probably do a video with gameplay and stuff of some of these. So that is probably the best and only solution if you want to keep playing on this. I don't have the means to make the discs like my friend Tony does, because it requires like a special kind of PC, a disk. It's just so complicated, and I just don't. Honestly, I don't have time to even mess with that sort of thing and learn that sort of thing. So, or get any of that stuff. And it's always just easier for somebody who knows what they're doing to do it. And so I don't sit there and thumb around with it and mess up and not know what the hell I'm doing. Anyway, yes, that's it. Yeah, there's still a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but there's still a few childhood games that I'm out on the lookout for, but I'm not going to tell you guys what they are, because I'm just going to get accused in the comment section of wanting you guys to send them to me. So I'm just going to stay silent on them. And if you see me pick them up on a future episode or whatever, then you'll know what it is. Thank you for watching, guys. There's going to be a lot more variety on this channel. Not a lot of stuff like this. This is just kind of a spur of the moment thing. I wanted there to be a video to go up on Monday because the YouTube algorithm is absolutely just killing in this channel right now. So, but we got a lot of stuff in the works. Great stuff. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, leave a comment, and let me know what you think of the Atari ST. So take care.